Hey y'all, so this morning I was feeling a lot of different energies coming through. Um some anxiousness. Some of us are anxious. Some of us have a little fear still left, a worry right now going on, feeling like, and it's I don't even think it's pertaining to anything specific. I'm not feeling like it is like something bad is going on or happening. I'm just feeling like some of us are feeling either other people's energy or we have some energy of our own, but it's like an anxiousness is like the main energy that I'm feeling. And so I just wanted to talk about it because through this journey, I've learned that it's okay. It's okay to feel every emotion that comes up, right? That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to feel it and figure out like what the root cause of it is and how we can deal with it. We have to deal with these emotions that are coming up. We can't just suppress them. We can't just say like, oh, this doesn't feel good, so I'm just not going to feel it at all, because that's in a sense suppressing it, which means it's not going to go anywhere. We actually have to deal with these emotions and figure out exactly why we're feeling these emotions, and then that will allow us to be able to release them, like deal with them and release them, right? Because we do know that we are the sum total of the energy that we put out. So our main focus is to put out nothing but positive energy, things that we want to boomerang back to us. So we want to put out all of these good energies, these good feeling energies, right? But we're not going to feel that every day. That's not going to be our reality every single moment of the day. So I just wanted to let you know that it's definitely okay. It's definitely needed. Like when those different energies come up, emotions come up, that we don't normally like to allow ourselves to sit in, we're still not going to sit in them. We're still not going to sit in them too long, but we still have to process them, right? So don't just discard them and push them away. It is definitely okay to not be okay every day, right? So as long as, our majority of what we're projecting out is going to be for our benefit and our good, and it's going to boomerang back to us like those positive situations and circumstances to make us feel good, to make us feel those higher vibrational energies, then we're doing good. Because not every single day are we going to feel that way, and not every single at every single moment um are we going to have like be on the higher scale of the vibrational frequency. Sometimes there are going to be some lower moments, and it's okay. I just wanted to make sure I came out here because I know that during my journey, we're all learning and growing, and I used to feel like, no, I can't have anything negative come up because I don't want to project that. I don't want that to boomerang back to me, right? So I can't put out anything negative. I can't feel any negative emotion. And so that's just going to lead us to suppressing those things because they're going to come up. If it's in you, it's going to come up anyway. So it's just going to lead us to like start suppressing that energy and suppressing those emotions. And that's not what we want to do. We want to we're having the human experience, which is comes with all of these different type of emotions, right? So we want to feel everything. Like while we're here, we want to feel every single emotion that comes up. Sit with it for a second. Figure out why you are feeling it. See if you can find the root issue to why you are feeling the way that you're feeling, especially in those low vibrational moments. Like, what is the root cause of that? And then if we can pinpoint that, it's going to be easier for us to rectify it, right? To remind ourselves that all things happen as they should. To remind ourselves that everything, like we are co-creators, right? We're co-creators in this matrix. We're co-creators in our life's experience. So yes, we can just do nothing and get to our final destination, but you won't be playing a intricate part and get into that destination. And that's the whole point of what we're doing as far as the manifestations, as far as the staying positive, as far as putting out the energy that we want to come back to us. Like that's the manifestation process. Once you get into that process, you become a co-creator of your reality. So we know what we're doing. So that's why we always want to, you know, remain positive and seek to have great high vibrational energy coming from us, so that's what's that is what's boomeranging back to us. Like whatever you put out is what you're getting back, and that's why we want to put out those great higher vibrational frequencies. However, it is still important to know that because you are in this human experience, you're going to experience all of the emotions, you know? And what the good part about it is, I know that we can see our progression and how much we are in those lower vibrations. So if we look at our span of this spiritual journey that we've been on, we can see that we've been doing a damn good job making sure that we have stayed in the higher vibration majority of the time. But don't be down on yourself and don't feel bad when you get in those moments where you're not and you feel like a lower vibration, because you are still going through the human experience, which comes with all of the emotions. So just really sit with that for a second. Whatever the emotion is, whatever you're feeling, just sit with it. Feel the whole vibration of the emotion. Let's determine like what is the underlying issue that we are feeling. And for us empaths, we have to remember that we are very sensitive to other people's energies. So let's decipher, make sure that we're not picking up on somebody else's energy, and then we're making it projecting on ourselves, making us feel like it's ours. So that's another thing that the empaths of us have to watch out for, because we do that a lot. We pick up on a lot of other energy, and then we're thinking as us. We're picking up on some anxiousness, and we're like, why am I so anxious? Why am I like, I don't even have anything that I feel like I should be anxious about, but it could be somebody else's energy that you're feeling. So we have to be very mindful of that and decisive of when it's us and then when it's somebody else's. Typically when it's somebody else's, that'll be known because you'll be in a conversation, or that person will be revealed of like, okay, that's where that energy came from. And if that's not the case, then it's typically going to be your energy. And then if it is your energy, let's just sit in it for a second. Don't just push it down, because I was pushing it down for a while, feeling like, okay, well, I'm not supposed to be exerting anything but positive energy. I'm not supposed to be letting my vibration get low, because the more low vibration I put out, that's what's going to come back to me. And then I'm going to be in circumstances and situations where the result of that is low vibration, right? And that's not what I want. So I'm like, nope, I'm going to put out nothing but positive. And so anytime any other vibrational energy that was not of a high frequency came up, I'm like, push it out. Don't think about it. Switch it to something positive immediately. And it's been coming up more frequently, which is allowing me to know that you can't just push it down. You can't just like not deal with it, right? Because it's going to come back up. So once we do feel that, we have to sit in it. We have to figure out, once we determine that it's us and not somebody else's energy and it's your energy, then let's sit with it and figure out why we feel that way. And then once we come to a conclusion on why we feel that way, it's easier for us to coach ourselves out of it, because this is all we're doing, right? Even to ourselves, like even to myself, I have to coach myself every single day. Every single day I have to remind myself and coach myself and bring my elevation up, right? So even when I do feel or when we do feel those lower vibrations and those lower energies, just know that it's okay. You are going through the human experience. Every single day may not be, rainbows and butterflies. We might have some lower vibrational energy that we need to deal with. If it's in us, that's the only reason it's coming up. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't feel it. If you wouldn't, it wouldn't be able to come up. But it's still there in us, because we all are humans in this 3D realm. And so we're going to go through all of those human emotions. Some of those are not going to be of the higher frequency and vibration. Some of those human experience, those emotions are lower vibration, and it is okay to have those days and have those moments. Just sit with it. Like I stated, try to find the root cause of it, and then once we find the root cause of it, we can remind ourselves that, okay, so this is happening for a reason. We could be grateful that it's coming up to show us something about ourselves, to show us something that we still need to work on, right? Because if we know that all things happen as they should, and we know that we're co-creators in our universe, and we know that we have the tools and we know how to use these tools in order to co-create, then there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to be fearful of. There's nothing to have anxiety about. There's nothing to have these lower vibration emotions come up. But they do. So that's just a growth. It's part of the growth. It's just part of the growth and development. And so now when it comes up for me, I sit in it for a second. I'm like, okay, and why do we feel this way? What's going on to make us feel this way? And then once I realize the root issue of whatever it is that I'm feeling, then I gently remind myself that all of this has happened as it should. You are a co-creator in all of the things that have taken place. And even though you cannot see all of the dots and the connections on how this particular thing of whatever we're thinking of is going to have a direct impact on our lives in a positive light, we might not be able to see that. We have to stand on it and know it. And then we can easily, like I stated, coach ourselves to calm that energy down, right? And then from there, once we remind ourselves of it and calm that anxiousness or that fear, that worry down, and we're not feeling that as much in our spirit, we're not feeling that as much. We're like, okay, I'm feeling a little better now. Now use that time to bring it back up, right? To remind your body of the energy that you want to be projecting and putting out, right? So it's still a growth opportunity, because it's like, okay, pause, let's see why we're feeling this way. Why is this energy coming up? This is a normal energy for us to have, because we can experience all of the energies, right, that are available to us in this realm. So that is one of the available energies, right? It's just a lower vibration. It doesn't feel good. It's not something that we necessarily want, but it's coming up for a reason. And it's only coming up for a reason to say, you need to address this. You still have a little of this in you. And even though you're doing amazing, and even though the journey that we've gone through, we've progressed so much from, like, think about like when we first started the journey, how much like in the lower vibration we were just constantly on an everyday basis, not even intentionally, just that was you. And now it's just life, and lives, and when it does, you experience all the emotions, and you don't know, like, that it's just a lesson. It's just a teachable moment for yourself. So you just, a lot of the times, like I say, go into the pool. Me and my girlfriend, like, we going into the pool, and the pool is not a good thing. Right? You going in deep, the deeper you go in the pool, the more harder it is, like to stay afloat, right? It's not like you just standing in the shallow water. You get in that pool deep. Now you got to put some work in to stay afloat, right? And even to get up out of the pool, right? So it wasn't necessarily a good thing that we were, stating going into the pool. But it's like you get into those situations in those moments where you allow yourself to be a human. You allow yourself to go through all of those human emotions and experiences, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's always a lesson in it for you. It's always something in there as a reminder to you of the things that we have to continuously work on, right? So anytime that we do feel it, we're not going to run from it. We're not going to push it down. We're going to stare it in the face and deal with it. We're going to figure out what it is that's making us feel this way. And then once we get to that root issue, we're going to reflect, and we're going to remind ourselves that we are in control. We are a co-creator of what's going on in our lives through our positive belief system, and our unlimited belief system, and our manifestations. We are able to co-create this reality, and we play a big role in it, right? We're not just sitting around just allowing things to happen to us. We're a part of creating those things that actually happen. And so when those lower vibrational energies come up, let's deal with them. Let's not run from them. Let's not shy away from them or push them down or neglect them, because it's still a lesson in it. It's still something in it for us to say, okay, this is where I am in this present moment, and that's perfectly okay. Let me figure out what the lesson in it is for me. Let me remind myself of who I am and my powers and what I can do and my capability as a co-creator of this realm for my reality. And then from there, we can say, I'm so grateful that I felt this. I'm so grateful that, excuse me, I'm so grateful that I was able to recognize this, face it head on and direct, change the energy. And then once we do that, and then we come up out of whatever we were feeling, when we sit there and deal with it, give yourself that time. Now, make sure that while you're giving yourselves that time to be in that emotion, to feel every emotion that's coming up, we're not going to sit there and dwell on those negative ones. Those negative emotions or low vibrational energy that we get sometimes are there as like corrective action, right? So it's like just a reminder, like, this is coming up, let's deal with it, let's face it head on and deal with it. And then from there we can project positivity on it, right? From there. So it's like you have the negative emotion come up, you have the low vibrational energy come up. It's something in there for you to just deal with. Go in and say, yes, I feel this, I recognize it, I identify that I'm having this emotion. Let me remind myself of who I am and the part that I play in this. Let me remind myself that I know all things are happening for my benefit. There's no need to have this anxiousness and this worry and this fear. There's no need to have that, right? Surrounding a lot of the times about other people and what they think and their perceptions and all of those things. That does not matter. That does not matter. You remind yourself of that, and then from there you're like, I'm so grateful to be a co-creator. I'm so grateful that this is coming up and that I'm given the opportunity to address it and deal with it, so that when whatever's coming down the pipeline for us, we're more able to react to it in a positive way. It's just like preparing you for the next thing, right? So some of the times we have to clear up out of us anything that's lingering, that we felt like we've done so much work, we put in so much effort to clear all of these fears and anxieties out of our body, but they're still coming up. That's okay, because that just means a little bit more work to do. We're getting so close. The more it comes up, it's like, you got to get rid of this, because where I'm taking you, the next level and where we're going, we can't have this. We can't bring these energies with us. So let's get them out now. Let's deal with them and address them now, so that when we step into this next season, when we step into this next opportunity, when we step into the next reality for us, then we're able to handle it. We're able to deal with what's coming up next. And so it's not a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing when we're reminded that we still have some low energy in us, some low vibrational energy, some fear, some doubt, some worry that's still in us. That's perfectly okay. And we have to be grateful that we are even just reminded that it's there, and that we have the tools and we know what to do in order to deal with it and address it, and then let it pass. Because once you actually just address that you're having it, and once you like, yes, I'm having a bad day, I'm having a moment, I'm having an experience in which I don't want to create, I'm having an experience in which I don't want to boomerang back to me and give me more of, right? So I'm going to sit there and address it, sit in it, figure out why I feel this way, remind myself of who I am and that I'm a co-creator in this whole experience, and remind myself, you know what I'm saying, that those feelings are not necessary. because I know who I am. I know who I'm walking with. I know who has my back. I know who's looking out for me. I know that the universe is orchestrating itself in a way that I can't see, and I can't even imagine how wonderful and grand it's going to be for me. So there's no need to fear. There's no need to have anxiety. There's no need to worry. There's no need to care about everybody else's opinions and perceptions. It only matters what you think in your divine relationship with the Most High, what you hear from your spirit, and that you're following what you're supposed to be doing. Outside of that, if those negative energies are coming up, just allow them to come up, sit with them, deal with them, face them head on, and then you'll see how they just go away. They just want, it's just a reminder for you to continue to practice what you preach, right? Continue to be able to change it. And then once you do it, it really gives you that sense of empowerment, because you're sitting in it. You're like, okay, this is not the way I want to feel, but let me sit in it for a second, because I know it's coming up for a reason. So let's figure it out what it is. Let's figure it out. Let's deal with it. And then from there, let's remind ourselves, because it's for reprogramming, right? Let's reprogram the brain. Let's reprogram the mind and say, okay, I understand that you're used to this emotion. I understand that this emotion sometimes is comfortable for you, but we are reprogramming. We know these emotions no longer serve us and our purpose right now where we are. So we're going to change it, right? We're going to say, I understand you're there. I understand. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to remind you that you are powerful, that all things are happening in their divine order, divine timing, orchestrated for your highest benefit. Once we remind ourselves of that, those negative or lower vibrational energies, they fade away. They go. They like, it's just like, take it. It's just like, okay, so you might start off with this much fear, and then you address it, and now you have this much, and then it comes back up, now you have this much. Then it comes back up, now you have this much. Then it comes back up again. Then it comes back up again until it's gone, right? So that's where we are. So don't feel like, because remember when you had this much, remember when you had this much anxiety, and when you had this much fear, and you had this much, remember when it was this much, and now it's this much. That's an awesome achievement. That's awesome. Kudos. Round of applause. You that's amazing, because you have to reflect on the fact that you used to have this much, right? I don't even know. You used to have this, you used to have that much, and now you got this much. So that's still like, look at the strides, look at the progress, right? So it's okay for it to come up, because it's not coming up every day, and we're not just sitting in it. We're not dwelling in it. We're not going to jump in the pool with it. We're not going to just let it take over and just like, okay, I'm feeling it. F it. Let's just go down here from here. Like, we're not going to forget all the work that we put in on this journey to get to where we are. And we're not going to stop. So it's just a little reminder, like, it's still a little bit there, and that's okay. That's okay as part of the process and part of the journey. Can you imagine trying to have to remove fear, anxiety, disbelief, all of these like limiting emotions and limiting beliefs all at one time, all in one day? Like, that's crazy. It didn't take just one day and one time for us to program ourselves to have it. That was over our whole lifetime. That was over since we were kids. That, adolescence. That's been programming on us since we've been little, to doubt and fear and disbelief. All of that's been programmed in us over generations. So it's not going to just be something that it's just a one day, oh, I know how this works now. I know that, I'm a co-creator and all things happen as they should, and there's nothing to fear, doubt, and worry. And just because I know that and I say that and I believe that, it's just going to go from 100 to 0 real quick. It's not going to do it like that. It's going to be a progression. And that's so grateful. I'm so grateful for that progression, because it's like, as soon as I'm ready to deal with it, as soon as I'm feeling empowered enough to deal with the next thing that's coming up, that's when it comes up. It's not like overwhelming, it's a journey. It's not supposed to be overwhelming, like so much to change in one setting. It's going to be a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. So when it comes up, just see how how quickly we can deal with it and change that energy. But we're not pushing it. We're not ignoring it. We're not trying to like run from it. We're dealing with it. We're grateful that it's coming up. We're grateful of the reminders to say, hey, you might want to work on this a little bit. This is still coming up. Why are we feeling this way? Let's center ourselves. Let's get grounded. Let's remember who we are. Let's get back on track. And that's all it is, just a gentle reminder. So don't let the little anxiety turn into big, because now you're worried about like, oh, I was doing so good, now I'm fearful, but I don't have nothing to be fearful because I know how it works, but I'm still scared and I don't know why I'm scared and I don't know what's going on. And now we're like perpetuating that energy and we're making it worse. We're just gonna say there's nothing to fear. I know it's coming up because it's still in me and I'm still dealing with it. I'm going to sit right here. And because I'm in the unknown, because I don't know what's happening next, because I can't see all of the dots and how they're all connected, this is why the natural reaction of the human experience that I'm feeling right now is fear. But I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to worry about because I am a divine connection with the Most High. Like, we are one. The Most High is in me. And through the Most High, all things are possible, right? So it's just like putting ourselves back at ease, reminding ourselves who we are, what our purpose here is for, what our mission, like what we're supposed to do to stay aligned and stay spiritually connected. So I just want you guys to think about that. I just want you guys to stay just stay encouraged. Know that every day is not going to be, or not saying even every day, because what we feeling, you can clear it quicker than a day. Like anytime I'm feeling anxiety or fear surrounding a situation, I can normally deal with it, face that fear, face that anxiety, face that situation, remind myself, show gratitude, and then it changes, right? So it can be in the present moment. Just don't let it spiral out of control, right? Don't feed into it so much where you're not like, you're just going full in on the energy. Like I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling anxiety. Now next thing you know, I can't even barely breathe because I done worked myself up so much, and I know I used to do it. So don't work yourself up so much over it, right? Just deal with it. Remind yourself of who you are and what your purpose is and how this thing works. Give yourself grace. Be grateful that it's coming up, allowing you to deal with it before you walk into this next phase of your life, allowing you to clear it all out before this next opportunity presents itself, and knowing who you are, right? So that's all. I just wanted to remind you guys because I'm feeling this anxiousness come up. And I know it's a collective thing, right? Because I have no reason to be anxious. That's why I had to sit with myself first and say, are you feeling the collective or is this you? Why is this anxiety coming up? And then I had to realize that it's not me. I don't have necessarily this anxiety besides the empath of me that's feeling a lot of anxiety right now. So I'm thinking somebody got some anxiousness, some anxiety going on. And I just wanted to let us know that it's okay. It's okay to feel every single emotion. It's okay for us to feel every single emotion that we're dealing with and that we're going through. That's okay. Just know who you are. You are divine spirit connected to the Most High. You can do anything. The sky is unlimited, right? The resources and the potential is unlimited. We can have anything and do anything. So there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to have anxiety about, worry about. Remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of your capabilities and what you're here to do, right? And that's all I had, beautiful souls. I just wanted to let you know I was feeling you guys this morning. I was feeling it. It was kind of heavy. I've already, since having, this conversation with you all, feel like we're letting it go. It's coming up. It's coming out. We're reminding ourselves of who we are and our purpose. And then the anxiety is going away. I feel it. So it might have been me. Look, it might have been me a little bit, because now I'm feeling like it's going down and it's going away. So I appreciate you all for talking me through this. But if anybody else is feeling that, just know that it's okay, and it's just part of the journey. It's just one more step in the journey, and it's all divine. It's all perfectly orchestrated for your higher benefit, even when you feel like it's out of your control, right? So until next time, beautiful souls, you all have a wonderful rest of your day.